Good day and welcome back again to B2C Tutorials. We want to continue with the discussion on the cost estimation. So we treated cost estimation looking at all things being equal where we have constant variables. So today we would also want to look at the cost estimation under the high and low analysis when there is a step in fixed cost. That is when fixed cost is not constant. So it reads, high and low analysis can be used even when there is a step increase in fixed costs between the low and then the high activity levels, provided that the amount of the step increase in fixed costs is known. So provided that we know the amount. Now it says that the method of the analysis to use depends on whether the step increase is a cost in a money amount, that is, you know the figure, or whether it is stated in percentage. So to know whether you can solve when you have money amount or percentage increase, that's what we're supposed to look at. Now, I'll use the question to explain the steps as to how to go about it. So please follow and then let's pay attention as we run through. Um, so the example I have here reads that requirement. Let's first read the requirements before we come back. Using high and low analysis, calculate the total cost of 20,000 units. Now, what is our question saying? It says that a company has the following costs at two activity level. Activity 17,000 and then 22,000, and the total cost of 165,000 and 195,000. Now listen, the variable cost per unit is constant over this range of activity, but there is a step fixed cost and total fixed cost increase by $15,000 whenever activity level equals or exceeds 19,000. So what are they trying to say? Look at these two activity. One is 17, the other is 22,000. They are telling you that anytime your activity level exceeds or equal to 19,000, it has 15,000 of fixed cost in your total cost. So under this, the 22,000 total cost has already captured the 15,000. But then that of the 17,000 had not captured the 15,000 in it. So what you can do is that you need to ensure that they both have it in it, and then you'll be able to do your computation for which after you come and determine for 20,000 units. So looking at this two here, we need to increase our total cost by the 15,000, though the activity level is not up to, what this says is that we need to increase it to that level. So the first step to take is to ensure that the total cost for 22,000 and then 17,000 is equal. Okay. So let's insert a table again and look at what I'm just trying to say. Now we have, let's put here details. We have activity, and we have total cost. Now what we're saying is that, it's usually between the highest and then the lowest. Here, but there are just two items there. So the difference between the highest and the lowest. Under the highest, the activity level was 22,000. its associated cost was 195,000. But then under the lowest, the activity level is 17,000. But then we can have its cost match it. So the total cost would be 180,000. Why? Because I am saying that anytime you produce above this 17,000, you should have the step up of its cost. So we would have our 165,000 plus the 15,000 fixed cost to ensure that the costs are the same so that we can determine the variable cost. So from here, applying the same knowledge for the difference, here's 5,000, and that of this will be 15,000 again. From here, you can determine your variable cost per unit. You can determine your variable cost per unit. So variable cost per unit would be equal to the total of the 15,000. I believe by now you should understand it, divided by the 5,000 activity level. That happens to give us what we call $3 per unit. So that would be our variable cost. Now, after determining the variable cost, it's the same procedure. It's the same procedure, but then what would happen is that we need to substitute the variable cost into the one that already has the fixed cost component there. That is the 22,000. So we are going to determine our fixed cost, but then total cost, knowing total cost is equal to total fixed cost plus total variable cost. We are going to then pick the highest at this level because this already has the 15,000 captured here. And then whatever we are asked to do is 20,000, which is above the 19,000. So we can't pick the lowest and substitute it in it. So here we'll pick the highest, substitute it in there. Okay. So the highest had a total cost of 195,000. Had a total cost of 195,000. And then had a total fixed cost of 0, because we don't know total fixed cost, and that is what we are going to determine. But then total variable cost, just like we know, is the variable cost per unit multiplied by the unit at that level. And the unit at that level was the 22,000. So after determining it, you have your 195,000, which will be equal to the total fixed cost plus what was the variable cost. When I multiply this by this, I'm supposed to get 66,000. Don't forget the total cost is also measured in dollars. And this is also measured in dollars. So I'd have my dollar 195,000 minus my variable cost of 66,000, which would then be equal to total fixed cost. So easily, I know total fixed cost is equal to the dollar of 129,000. That is just the determination of fixed cost. But then we want to find the cost estimate according to the question. It says determine the cost estimate of the number of units there was what? 20,000 units. So cost estimate of 20,000 units. We start with fixed costs. So let me insert another table again. This time around, I am not drawing because the drawing was taking much of my time when we're doing it. Okay. So we have details and we have amounts. Now, don't forget, cost estimate is the fixed cost, which we have determined of the 129,000 And then the variable cost, which is actually going to be the variable cost per unit, that is 3, multiply the number of units we are looking out for, which is 20,000. Yeah. So here we would have 60,000 for the variable cost. Hence, our total cost for the month for the 20,000 units will be the addition of the variable plus. So we would have 189,000. That is the full cost here. Now, let's go back again and then understand the fixed cost once more, and then we'll draw the curtain. Okay, so what we are saying is that, see, there's a change in fixed cost, which means that any activity which exceeds 19,000 would have already the 15,000 there. So which means that any activity that falls below 19,000 does not have it. Hence, we can't compare two costs because this would have a different fixed cost component in it, and this also have different fixed costs. Now, to match it, you can reduce this one, but then you need to rather increase the one that is below the standard. And that is how come we added the total fixed cost, that is a step cost, to that before we found the difference. Then we were able to solve the question. I believe you had an understanding and we'd appreciate it when you join us, and then we solve more questions. Now, the next which we'd have to look at is a step increase when percentage is given. So looking at a sample of this question, we'd expect an answer, but then we want to draw the curtains here and meet some other time to discuss it. All right, so this is B2C tutorials, and we discuss both business-related courses, accounting, costing, public sector, taxation, and more. Management, accounting, operations management, we do business law, we do company law, we do management information systems. We also treat business finance, investment, portfolio management. We do the financial reporting, we do advanced accounting, and we do taxation too as well. So do well to contact us if you are interested in our class, and then let's meet and talk deeper. So this is an introduction, but then our student would have to discuss this deeper with you and solve more questions with you so that you would have a clear understanding about what we are trying to show you. Do enjoy your time and have a great day. Kindly subscribe and like our videos. Thank you.